Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Conversations with Salah. We have a very packed episode today. I have here with Sky, here with my quiz, our in-house producer. She has decided to go remove a mask and come from behind the curtain to come forward and show her face. And I also have somebody with us today. I call him Black Boy Joy. He's very black. He's very black. In fact, he's so black that they had to put black in his name. They call him Ayoblaq. Ayodele Akinwande. Welcome everyone. Welcome both of you. So I just finished working out. I had to rush for this episode because health is wealth. And for those that don't know, I used to be Ayobande's trainer. And
many years ago.
Yeah, many years ago. And we had little issues. Ayobande will say she wants to work out by 6:30. And she knows she never makes 6:30. She knows. When I now wake up by 6 o'clock, you'll just be ready, and 6:30, this girl not be ready. And it's very difficult to go back to bed when you've woken up in the morning. Yeah, at a point, I was like, what, let's just cancel.
I completely forgot all these decisions. So this have been carrying me in your mind.
Yes, now, like, what, they just cancel because we cannot do after work. She'll be tired. So money is
but
always
you
the
know
best.
that there were multiple times that we actually went. It was only a few
we did. We actually
like...
did. At the beginning, she was very into it.
How many times?
All of a sudden, she just fell off. More than 4 times. I know. We did like a month.
We went a lot of times.
We did.
We did more times than we didn't go.
Okay,
It was only like once or twice that I was like, I can't come.
Yeah, she just fell off.
Put me on blast like that.
She fell off. But I'll be back keeping fit. Health is well too. We're getting old.
I'm trying to.
We have to. We are in the US.
Work won't kill me. Won't choke me.
I'm telling you, no energy anymore.
It doesn't matter. You know, when you sit down for long, that's where you put all those things down. Yeah, you just need to stand up. Even if it's just 2-mile walk, 3-mile walk. Just get active. Yeah, just get active. I don't like walking, so that's why I work out. I don't like walking. I don't like running. I play soccer just to catch up with those things. But
I like walking.
Yeah, I know you do.
I don't like running.
I know you do. Ayodele, what's happening now? What's up?
I'm good though. I don't like walking. I don't like running.
What's your workout activity of choice?
Bruh, I need to actually get better.
It's to stress me. I'm telling you people.
Don't we
Ayodele's workout is to stress me. I swear. Ayodele stresses me out a lot. We'll get there. I'll tell you why it stresses me. But today, let's start. Let's talk about why we're here. Today we'll be talking about cybersecurity and the importance to, I would say, the tech space ecosystem right now. As everything has gone into cloud, we need to be able to manage our products in cloud, safeguard people's information, people's monies. When you're doing B2B that involves sharing and payments online, then the HIPAA laws, health records, we need to be able to safeguard that efficiently and being able to also have foresight in blocking attacks that can happen. Apparently, just off the cuff, people are no more. There's not. I'm going to ask Ayodele, but I'm going to ask you at the end of this podcast. But I have noticed that there's no prevalent virus attacks anymore. It's more of phishing attacks, which is within the cybersecurity space. So, Ayodele, let's start from you. And so, Yemani too is into cybersecurity. She's doing a PhD. If you listen to our wrap up for last season and preview for this season, you will have heard her speak about that. She's doing a PhD in that field right now. I'm correct, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, Mr. Ayodele Black, the man that has black in his name, tell us how you decided to be. Okay, let's start from who are you? Who are you? What do you do, and how you got into this interesting field?
Yeah. studied management information systems. So I went to my master's to information systems. But one thing about me is I don't know how to code. Nothing. I've tried hard now. I was begging I read every book. It did not work for me. And even if I write code, like something that people did under 15 minutes, it would take me like 4 days
Mm,
to do it. So I knew it wasn't for me. So
I can relate.
I just kept on like applying for jobs. Then there was a financial institution in New York that needed an intern, and I just applied. I got the job. So that's how I got my first my feet wet in cybersecurity. The good thing about working in a small shop is they have to comply with certain regulations, so you tend to do everything. There's usually like they usually outsource security, but they have like a few people in house that are experts. So I go there, you have an understanding of all the aspects of security. Then after that, I moved into third party risk, and third party risk is more about as you say, everything is on the cloud. You interact with a lot of third parties. And the way it works nowadays is if there's a breach on a third party, you as the parent company is also accountable, basically. So they tend to fine you if that company is breached. So you have to perform some certain audits or assessments on those third parties and ensure they keep doing what they say they're doing. So I did that for a couple of years, but now I'm in the GRC space, which is more compliance. So I help companies with their SOC 2 reports. And SOC 2 is a certification that basically says your company has the right security controls in place as of this time. So I just help companies do audits on this and ensure they have the right pathway to get this certification. Yeah.
SOC too, yeah. I know about that. That's interesting. And so you made mention, you said you work for mostly compliance. So do you think your MIS degree was enough to prepare you for this career path that you decided to choose?
Sorry, could you come again?
I'm saying, like, do you think your MIS degree prepared you adequately for this career path that you've chosen?
Oh yeah. It's actually like it helped a lot because MIS shows you how systems work, like how they connect to each other. So having that
Mm.
understanding helps with cybersecurity. And you also do a few cybersecurity courses, but not in depth.
Mm.
It does help. I'll actually even advise people that if you want to go into cybersecurity, you should do MIS
Mm.
if you can, because programming is very if you're good at it, you're good at it. You don't really need to go to school for it.
Mm-mm.
If it's for you, that's why.
Mm-mm.
No, okay,
Mm-mm.
okay,
You know, this part of the
You,
reason why we
you
fight.
disagree?
okay,
I was
This
like,
part of the
what's
reason why we
going on?
like. This part of the reason why we fight.
okay.
Don't.
You decide.
But continue.
I feel
I
like
understand why you say that. I understand
some
why you
people
say
can
that.
switch
But
from like any other field. If you like take like a certain like if you're interested in a language, and besides, I'm pretty sure AI will be doing all the coding going forward. Human beings just design the
yeah.
backend. Yeah.
Mm. So with
Oh,
the with AI thing, so I understand. I like the two things you said right now.
mhm.
You don't need to go to school to study or to know programming
Yeah.
and AI coding. So in as much as we don't need to go to school to study programming,
Mhm.
there are nuances to it.
Yeah.
It depends on what you want to use the programming skills to do.
Yep.
There's a reason why it's called software engineering or engineering as a whole, because you have to engineer solutions. It's not just being able to do if and why and all that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you need to know how to engineer. But part of it is understanding how the product is going to function, how it's going to meet customers' needs, aesthetics, interactions, how you want the process to go. So it's a different thing. Like, okay, as a programmer, you can just be told program this particular button, and that's the end. They just give you, that's what they're going to give it to you. But as a software engineer, you want to know the reason why that button is needed.
Yeah.
You have to use your creativity and all that. That can be learned, but you need to also know how to solve problems. So going to school is not only majorly linear towards a particular degree, but also being well-rounded, and also AI programming or writing codes. You still need that human touch. Like you should also need cultural touch. How does culture come to play in how these products are being made? Because I remember we spoke with Forward, and they explained how culture comes to play in how it's thinking in providing solutions. The wiki that you want to provide for students is different from the wiki you're going to provide for a working class person, or the wiki you're going to provide for someone who is um, in finance is different from what you're going to provide for someone in government. So yeah, but you're right. Yeah, 50% right. Don't let us fight. It's too early for us
50%
to
right.
fight. It's too early for us to fight. We'll fight, but it's too early. But continue.
Oh yeah. So yeah, cybersecurity, as I said, MIS was a good you get to understand how
That's a
systems
great.
work. Then
Mm-hmm.
also the business part of it. Cybersecurity is a lot of management because nowadays many of the controls are automated.
Right.
So like as you said before, like viruses, companies don't use antivirus anymore. There are companies like CrowdStrike that give like they call it XDR, which is extended detection and response. So it's a whole package. So this work automatically to mitigate against viruses. Then it also helps like with patch management as well. So many of the controls that we implement now are automated and it works. So you just need the human configuration know-how on how to, if a breach happens, because as you said, phishing can occur. If a breach happens, how to respond to that attack.
Yeah, disaster recovery.
You know.
That makes sense. Yeah, because I
So
remember what you said.
I was going to say I had a question, but go ahead, finish.
Yeah, so I remember like recently, my company we just underwent disaster recovery, and yeah, yeah, that was a good experience for me.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. They'll probably walk you because it's you guys that do all the work for DR.
Just that. Anyways, yeah, they say you had a question.
Yeah, I had a question. I know you probably get into this when you go into your day in the life, but you said two things that I found interesting. One, you said that cybersecurity doesn't require a lot of coding. It's more management. So I'm curious how that translates to like day to day. But maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll
No, no,
talk
no,
about
no,
it
no,
later.
no, 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 no. It's fine. Like it's part of it.
Okay.
Like
Okay, so I guess we could just dive right into that question. Can you walk us through just like, your day to day? Because cybersecurity for me, it's a bit of a myth in the sense that, not a myth, it's a bit of a mystery in the sense that I'm not sure what element of it includes coding. I know that there's some parts of it like application security and stuff that requires coding, but you also said there are parts of it that also require like management, understanding of principles when you think of like compliance or GRC or risk management. Those things don't require coding. So how have you transitioned into like, or what are the skills that you've learned from each of the different roles that you've taken, and then how does that translate to like your current job and your day to day?
Oh, yeah, that's a very good question. So let me know. So people always say cybersecurity as a general term. Cybersecurity is broad.
Exactly.
That's one thing that I should have clarified at the beginning. Cybersecurity has like application security that you have to be extremely technical. The hackers are like looking at your headers to try to like do like responses, see how they can steal sessions so that they can open it somewhere else. Application security is there. Application security basically looks at the code base, saying okay, your code is deployed securely. And if you're interested in cybersecurity, especially application security, there's something called the OWASP Top 10, which is OWASAP, that basically just
Okay.
lists the top 10 attackers, the top 10 attack approaches for your application. So there's application security, then there's third party risk, which is, I would say it's I would say it's the easiest part of security. It's almost like the trickiest because you need to understand the third party systems, but you're almost also not held accountable if there's a breach because you are not there when it happened. When you did the assessment, that control was working. So third party risk assessment is very point in time.
Okay.
Makes sense. And it's a third party, so you don't know what they're doing after you leave. Then there's IT audits. which does what?
Is that considered part of cybersecurity? I thought that would be like its own field.
So IT audit is independent on its own, but I feel like if you understand IT audit, you can do like other parts of cybersecurity, because with audit you need to understand how the controls work so you can test it, so they won't lie to you. So I'll still put IT audit in there. Then there's also like things like cybersecurity awareness and training. So ensuring people do their training is part of security, just because of compliance requirements. Then there's also security operations.
Okay.
So that you don't need to code per se, but you need to know how to write scripts to pull.
Why?
So with security operations, with the SOC team, which is Security Operations Center, they deal with a lot of logs. So all information feeds into something called the SIM, which is the Security Information Event Management tool. So it feeds into that tool, and this is things that happen like every second. There might be 200, 300 alerts, especially for a company that, like, if you're working for like Meta, Google, your endpoints are pinged every other day. So for you to investigate properly, you need someone that can properly triage the information, basically looking at it and saying, okay, this is a red flag, this is a red flag. Let's put it out and let's investigate. So that's the SOC team. I'm trying to think of which other parts of. Then you just need people that are good with like configurations. Then there's vulnerability management, which is for every system there are always going to be weaknesses. They call so basically weaknesses in a system. People will try to break in to your application.
Penetration testing?
No, it's different from penetration testing.
Penetration testing is another part of cybersecurity.
Another part of cybersecurity, yeah. So vulnerability management is basically there are always going to be weaknesses. I don't know how to best explain it. So people always try to.
So I say, let me help you. So I saying that you will test the system to know what the point of weakness is, so that you know that okay, this is what we should always look at first before we check another place. Does that make sense?
No, it's not.
Your system is as strong as your weakest point.
No, it's not even that. So vulnerability management is more about people it might be identified internally, might be identified externally by some researcher. They just come to you and tell you there's a weakness in your system that you need to fix. So you're working. There's something they also call 0-day vulnerabilities, and those are the vulnerabilities that like the hackers are using it right now. So there are times that like we have to work like all around the clock to make sure that our systems have been patched. Last year there was something called Log4j. No, last 2 years, Log4j, and I was in Christmas in Nigeria at the time, thinking that I was having like holiday. Then they told me to clock. I was looking at the laptop, contacting all our third parties, ensuring that they have patched their vulnerabilities, because it was a vulnerability that like if a hacker got to your system and could exploit this, they had access to everything.
So was that a virus or no. I don't know what categories you put all these things?
So it's not a virus, because a virus is like a program that was intentionally intended to cause harm. A vulnerability you do not know is going to cause harm. It might be outdated technology. It might be you guys did not design it properly. It might be on one system they patched it and it made the system vulnerable. It's just very unexpected for the most part.
Yeah, so my question is, I have a question in that line. What's the difference between virus, malware, phishing? Quick now. It's about cybersecurity. People want to be interested in that. Knowing that
virus and malware are the same. Well, phishing is social engineering.
Yep.
So phishing is getting people to illegitimately fall through a legitimate means. If that makes sense. So we had a situation where like they were able to spoof our Okta login, and they basically sent messages to people saying that their MFA is bad. They should use this link. So people logged in, and then hackers were able to steal their password, but we were able to monitor it because it was from a different IP location that we should have blocked. It's very interesting because as you said, the biggest so I was watching a video that says if you patch your systems, which is fix your vulnerabilities, eliminate phishing, people are more aware. Almost 80% of vulnerabilities would fall off the planet. At least 80%. I was watching a video that said that. So it's maybe
management. But the guys that are doing the phishing will become smarter though.
Yeah. So that's the thing, and they never stop trying.
Yeah.
And there are different ways to write. Like maybe you start a company Winsala. There are different ways to write Winsala as a it can be .yo.net. You can put another A, and we don't really look at it if the site looks like what we are used to. If that makes sense. Like if someone spells Google with 3 O's, but you still see
you miss it.
Google, you miss it.
So let me give you guys a quick story. I think 2 years after I've been in the US, I received a random call. They're like, "Oh, the government wants to refund me $20,000 for all the groceries that I spent because the grocery stores overcharged me." So my mind was like, "I've not spent up to $20,000 in total in everything I've spent in the US, like cumulative, $20,000. So how much, what did I buy in groceries that will accumulate to more than 20,000?" I was like, "Okay, no problem. Can you send me the money order?" They're like, "No, they need my account details and my social security." No, they didn't even say social security number. My account details. I was like, "Well, Shebi is my money. Send it through money order." I said, "No, it has to be through bank account." I was like, we were not arguing on the phone. I knew it was a scammer, but it's just so easy to fall for all those kind of tricks because it just sounds very ridiculous, but that's what is similar to what Fishy to do, because I receive a lot of emails that we're waiting for you, trying to reach you. We have so package for you. Can you click on this link to confirm your address? And that's how you get got.
Because there's also voice phishing too.
Yeah.
Yes, there's voice phishing too. Yes.
Because even now,
just
even like MFA, it's not really the most secure. It's not as secure as before. Because if I really wanted to get you, which has happened in a lot now, is I can basically transfer your phone number to my phone number for a bit, try to get your password, then and that happened.
Wow.
So they just call if I know your password, so basically it's porting your number. So transferring your number to another number, saying, "Okay, I'm here, give me this number now on this new SIM, and all your MFA codes now go to that number. I just need to know with AT&T."
Wow. Wait, just what?
I just need to know your passcode with AT&T or whatever mobile provider you're using. And most people, they usually use their BETS number because it's always a number. So it's those kind of things that people just know, and the hackers always use it really well.
So you're saying somebody can put my number without me being aware?
Yeah. You just need to know your code, whatever you did, and yeah, that's it. Yeah, it actually happened.
That's a problem. That's a problem. That's a problem. Wahala. Because a lot of things go through our MFA, and it's our phone that we use. A lot, like bank account details, records, credit cards, even getting your what's it called, debit cards. Well, that's crazy.
The best. No, I was going to say there's something called FIDO, which is basically physical keys. I think companies have started using it now. It's way better.
We should do that in Nigeria now. We should do that. We call it, what do you call it? Sky.
No.
I don't know. I call it YubiKey.
Yeah, the YubiKey.
YubiKey, then I think they call it dongle or something in Nigeria.
Oh yeah, don't go.
Yeah, we use it in Nigeria. Nigeria's security infrastructure when it comes to banking is probably one of the best in the world.
Oh, are you talking about token?
Yes, token. Yes,
Oh.
yes.
Oh yeah, you need to
Yes.
have like the physical token.
Physical, yes. Like
Although now you
we
can
use
download
that.
it on your app on your phone though. They now have
Yeah,
it in the form of an app.
yeah, but it's still like it's almost the same thing. Someone gets access to your phone, then that's it. That's it. You're not really secure fully. But with
Yeah,
that
that's true.
token, whatever, it's physical. You are holding everywhere. Like if it's missing, then you know that there's problem.
Yeah. But in a
But,
place
but,
like Nigeria, though, if someone steals it from you and like or robs you at gunpoint and asks you to log into your account and give them your token, and technically they can still like compromise your account. But that would be
yes.
willing. That would be like with your approval, even though it's under duress. Like you would still be aware. Versus with like phishing and other forms of like circumventing systems, it's usually like when you're not aware and then you find out after.
True. All right. So that I guess that's why we use RSA, VPN, what's it called? Codes, RSA codes to log in sometimes when I'm working. That makes sense. So back to you. What that's back to Ayoblaq. What tools do you use on a day-to-day basis in your role right
Did
now?
you tell us what his typical day is like? I don't think so.
Or even tell us a typical day, Mr. Oga.
It was talking about the different types of cybersecurity, and we started having a conversation.
Okay.
What does your day look like in your current role?
So yeah, there's something we call Vanta.
What does that? What is that?
It's
What does that do? What does that mean?
So it connects to like all our systems. It provides me with data on like what has failed, what is working, what is not working. I look at this every morning. Then if I see something has failed, I reach out to the engineering team to fix it. And it could be in our GitHub, which is our code repository. It could be Okta. If I see somebody has left the company, but the access has not been removed over 24 hours, that will notify me. It could be I get feeds from our backups. If I see a backup has failed, it doesn't fail anymore because of AWS. AWS RDS handles it perfectly now. Amen. So AWS has been helping to reduce a lot of my compliance requirements. So yeah, the first thing I do is log into Vanta. I meet with the teams that the controls are failed and work with them to remediate it or assign a timeline to remediate it. Then we have certain other tasks like access reviews, planning our disaster recovery tests. I have something called a risk register. So if there are risks that come to me from the team or I notice something, I document this, meet with my management team. We discuss the remediation and a date to fix it. So my typical day is Vanta, meeting with the engineering teams, working on plans and remediation.
David, remind me again, what's your job title?
Oh, now it's I'm a security compliance manager.
Manager, okay.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I mean, that should be something that you're interested in, right?
Me, I'm interested in money.
Not you now, you with Sky.
Who, me? Yeah,
Yes.
it sounds like very heavy on like project
It
management.
is
That's
very.
why I asked.
It is.
Yeah, it's not a core technical role.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a manager now, so he's managing people and process.
People that are doing
So
this.
yeah.
Were you
he doesn't
ever
have to, like-
technical? I know you said you didn't
He
like to
said no.
code.
He said no.
And you can you can have technical knowledge without coding. So like, did you ever work in like a technical role that required technical expertise or like systems without necessarily having to code?
No, I've always been in this space.
Like in this path. Okay.
You know, see, you really want this fight to come on. That's why I'm just pushing it back.
Who, me?
Yes, between both of us, myself and Ayoblaq. So I like this question very, very much. It's one of my favorite questions to ask. How do you know somebody is proficient in your role? Say if you want to hire somebody as someone that's been in this line. How long have you been working as a cybersecurity expert?
Me,
Yes.
about I've been in this so I came 7.
7.
7.
I mean that's
About
Yeah.
7 years.
So what are the questions that once the person answers those questions, you know that the person is proficient in that role in cybersecurity if you are trying to hire somebody.
Oh yeah. So encryption. I'll say,
Sorry, let me level set. Within what area of cybersecurity? Because we said cybersecurity is broad.
oh, it's still
Um
um, you still need to understand. So all the cybersecurity.
Generic
Yeah, they'll still
across
ask
the
you
board.
questions because you still need to speak on it sometimes, even if it's
Okay.
just the even if it's the education part of cybersecurity.
mm,
It's just some you know how people use industry jargons.
Mm-hmm.
yes.
A lot of those meetings, people just be I need to understand like the at least what it means.
Mm.
Yeah. So for interviews, the questions that I always hear is encryption.
Not that you're always here. Not that you're always here.
Oh,
You as a manager,
for me?
you are interviewing someone. Some of the questions that you will ask, because I
So
understand that
he'll be
there's always
hiring for
like
someone within a GRC role, GRC compliance role.
yes, and I know that's like I know companies prepare questions which I don't really like that much. If I'm going to interview somebody, I'm going to have like an idea of question I'm going to ask that person to tell me that this person knows this. And I do that when I'm conversing with people who ask me they want to go into cloud computing, they want to go into software engineering, they want to go into system engineering, or they want to be an SRE or DevOps. There's some questions I ask them, and I'm like, okay, you're not ready, or you need to do more on this, or you are ready. So that's what I meant.
Yeah. So for me, it's encryption. That's key because that's key of security. How do you hide data? Encryption and passwords. They always ask you passwords. Then the definition of MFA and the different types of MFA. What constitutes MFA? Which
Hmm.
MFA is multi-factor authentication, by the way. What
Mm-hmm.
constitutes MFA? Um, they'll ask you about regulations. So if you're in banking, if you're in finance, they'll ask you about regulations, um, which is like the OCC and the FRB for banking. For tech, they will just ask you about NIST. And
Interesting.
NIST is like NIST is guidance from the government on best way to secure your environment. That's the best way I can put it. So it's just they have this framework they created. And just good segue. If you understand NIST enough, you're already good at cybersecurity. It's an Excel spreadsheet with a lot of lines. But if you understand it, you're good at cybersecurity.
By NIST, you're talking about the NIST cybersecurity framework, right?
Yes. That framework is what everybody adopts.
As the identify, detect,
Yeah.
protect, respond, recover.
Over here. Then they added
Mm.
govern to it as well.
So do you need to know it by heart, or you need to just refer to the document?
No, you can't know it by heart. It's a lot of writing. But you need to understand like the key principles and you should have
Okay.
read it at least once.
It's like as of quality, like how you navigate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
I Yeah, but did you know as of quality?
What was also called it? HOQ,
Okay.
yes. It took me a minute. Six Sigma.
Yes, yes. That's the
Oh,
basis of Six Sigma and quality control. That's the basis, like process systems engineering. But we'll continue, sir.
mm-hmm.
yeah, I think if you understand this, those are the key questions I'll ask you. Then obviously how do you deal with difficult stakeholders? Because in security, you're going to work with a lot of very, very smart engineers who do not want to do what you want them to do.
Hmm. You might need to be familiar with
So,
that.
yes, that's like the relationship management, the soft
Yeah.
skills.
Yeah. So
You're
they are not
familiar with
like
that as a
yeah,
technical program manager.
they are going to hound you about evidence. They are going to hound you about why it fails. They are going to hound you about why the regulations are old school and their controls they are doing now is better. They're going to do all that, but you have to work with them and almost pull their hand and beg them sometimes. Hey Joe, please, you have to beg them. But eventually, it's a very fun role because it's also like you understand how things work. like cybersecurity is also like is built off like military. Like if you don't want somebody to get in here, what type of firewalls do you put in here? There's something called zero trust approach. So different ways to solve different problems. Some people focus on access management, some people focus on network security. They just always shifts all the time. So it's very interesting just seeing like what strategies companies deploy to prevent hackers.
So can you remember the reason why we had an argument that day? I can't remember.
I can't remember. I
can't-
think it was around DevOps, whether you guys
Yes.
code or not. And I said you guys don't. You guys
Oh, it
code.
was DevOps and SRE.
They
You
don't
said we
code now.
code. Hey, God.
Exactly. That's what I
One
said.
day,
He said they code.
you should have joined them.
I was like, you guys
You
don't.
join
Yeah, what
him.
do you code? Please tell us.
What do you mean?
Educate
we
us.
don't code?
Maybe we don't know. We don't know now. As far as I know, people don't code, but maybe there's something I
You
don't
write scripts.
As far as you know, wow, it's
What
good
I
that you
know.
said that because I don't understand. So we had this argument for like 3 hours,
Yeah.
and I tried to explain it to this man that how can you say scripting is not coding?
I don't think it is.
And people, so like I have seen and I've done, people go into the code when there's an issue. People go into the code to correct some things, some bugs. DevOps do that, SREs do that. In fact, there's more SRE that do more of coding, going into the code base to touch things. I'm really surprised you guys are saying this. Especially
Yeah.
Ayoblaq.
But I don't call it. So maybe it's linguistics, I mean, like definition.
it's
I call,
terminology.
yeah, I call like people that are developers, like people that are actually like or in core engineering team. DevOps is not core engineering. Maybe that's why I don't look at it that way.
Oh, what do you mean? So are you core engineering?
Who me? No,
No.
core engineering. No. Hell no.
Core engineering people that build like apps.
Yeah, people that
or, like
those-
can
please,
build stuff
core,
with code.
Core engineering is not a word. What's the core engineering? What do you mean core engineering?
people that have
It's not a
Engineers.
word. So are mechanical engineers not core engineers?
No, core engineering
Uh-huh.
within software
Yes, now.
context.
Oh, okay.
You're just
Because I
looking
don't
for
understand what
trouble.
you're saying. No, because no. We argue for like 3 hours on this because you say we don't code, and I felt really odd because when I was
Why are you
doing
feeling hurt?
interviews, yes, now when I was doing interviews, I wrote codes.
No vex. So this is how I was defining it at the time. I think I have a better understanding now. Can you deploy things directly in GitHub in your production,
Yes,
in your production environment?
yes.
No, how now?
I'm telling you,
So you go and do rubbish.
the pipeline 100%. Huh? What is it?
I said you turn Facebook to Fando.
I'm serious. So here's the thing, right? For each company, the protocol and the standard and process different. I get that. But in grand scheme of things, you are as a DevOps person or as an SRE person, you need to code. You can get away with it. I've seen that happen if the company's needs does not involve that. But when it comes to deployment, like I've seen companies make the DevOps deploy. I've seen that. And I've seen SREs going into the code base to touch to resolve issues for customers. And I've also seen customer service having tech skill sets, not regular, hello, what do you want? I'm going to do a ticket for you. Like I've seen them go beyond their level or regular level that we are used to. So it depends on the company. Please don't insult DevOps and SRE, please.
You guys use Jenkins now. Now Jenkins.
Yes. But so funny thing is not all companies that use Jenkins.
Yeah, no. Just
like me, I don't use Jenkins. I'm supposed to be using Jenkins, but my current products don't require me to use Jenkins. But we need to fight. This fight has to continue, man. This fight has to continue.
You just want to fight, apparently.
Yes. That's why I invited him to the podcast so the world can see what I'm dealing with. So final question from my own end. I don't know if Yewande has one. How do you describe what you do to a 10-year-old?
okay, interesting question. I'm the police of the internet.
Okay.
Stop the bad guys.
That's a good.
Well, I help stop the bad guys.
That's a good
Police
one.
of the internet. Nice.
That's a good one. You want to have any question for our black man?
Yes, so I want to ask more around like the tools. You talked about
Hmm?
Vanta, I forget the other one, but like what other tools do you use? And then if you're familiar with other tools that are used in other areas of cybersecurity, then you can share. I know your area is compliance, so the tools you use will be specific to like
Uh,
compliance, but like other parts of cybersecurity, like just the general tools that people use.
So people use Archer. Like most banks
What is that?
is um is like
How you spell that?
ARCHER.
Okay.
So yeah, as I said, there's also like risk management in cybersecurity. So I also did risk management as well. And Archer I use that for risk management. So risk management is basically you go into your company, identify risks, then work with the owners of the risk, which is not you, is always the business. Work with them to come up with a plan, and then they define like what strategy they will take to fix that risk. So the risk might be accepted, might be mitigated, might be transferred, whatever. You have to determine the strategy. So I used Archer for that. Then there's something I'm trying to think of another one. ServiceNow.
Yeah,
ServiceNow has a
service now.
very, very
Yeah.
big. Snow has a very, very big compliance package.
Mm.
Then if I won't call this security, but it's we people. There's a thin line between it now and GRC compliance. It's privacy. So for that, we want
Mm.
trust. Because now there's now privacy engineering. Because companies are trying to get your data without actually getting your data. Like I think Google is eliminating cookies or trying to eliminate cookies. So that's more towards privacy engineering. So how can they get your information without really getting your persona about who you are? So there's it's becoming a big field now. They use one trust. That's then there's something called we use something called Hyperos as well. I use that for third party risk management. Yeah, I think those are the major tools that I use. Many of these tools are they start as one thing. Then because GRC is very program management, they start adding different things as they get bigger. But if you want tools for like other like I can also but for GRC those are my major tools.
Okay. What about other areas? Do you know any of those tools?
Yeah. So for application security, there's SendGrip. So basically that's you use that to when you write your code, um it basically scans your code to see if there are gaps in your code. Um Synopsys does it as well. Then GitLab and GitHub have their own application scanners. For like as I said, XDR, which is detection, prevention, and response, XDRs. It combines those. CrowdStrike is like the main leader now. Then for like zero trust, which is like perimeter security, I would say like firewalls, that kind of thing. Palo Alto,
Mm.
Cloudflare.
Mm. Mm.
Then for MFA, Okta,
Mm.
that's
RSAs,
another big part I didn't even talk about. Access management is
mm.
another beast on its own
ACLs. Mm.
in
We spoke about that too
yeah, access
when we
management
were
is another
arguing.
beast in cybersecurity. Yeah, it's so we use Okta. Um, which other big ones are there? There actually a couple. There's even one in Austria. I can't remember. Yeah, I think
That's funny.
Ping Identity. Yeah,
Yes, Ping Identity too. I
yeah,
know, I know, I know all of these things. I
yeah,
know Ping Identity. I know RSA. I know Palo Alto.
yeah.
I know S now. And it's crazy because if you do if you do cloud computing, it
Mhm.
seems you have to be a well-rounded tech engineer because you are doing all this in one place. You are doing networking, you are doing cybersecurity, you are doing system management, you are doing architecture, you are doing scripting. You might not go as far as programming, coding, but you are also bringing things into the infrastructure. You are propositioning, you are deploying, you are maintaining, you are doing your whole code pipeline. and all that.
So I was even about to say this. So for in GRC, you can be a chief information security officer. But the best, but me personally, the best CISOs I've worked with were engineers. Because they go hands-on and they know how to conduct investigations, like because the way it works, like incidents happen every other day. You might have like a fire drill any other day. It could be 2 a.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m. But you need to understand like the threat actors, their pathway, how they got in, what they touched. Engineers think of solving problems.
We're the ones now.
Yes,
We're the ones.
so
When there's a
think better.
when there's like there's like traffic, every traffic or like unforeseen, unwarranted, unplanned traffic, you go and check what IP address is causing it. First things first, block that IP address. That's the first thing we always do. Not necessarily block, we ask the customer like Mr. Man or people, are you guys running a test? Are you guys doing anything that will require this much traffic? If they say yes, okay, what are you guys doing? If they say no, then there's something wrong. Then we block that IP. So that's one of the things that we do. Yeah. Which makes full sense.
Then if you're on the SOC team, you use like Splunk.
Splunk. That's another popular one.
Team. What is SOC?
Security Operations Center.
Oh, is that security operations?
Yeah, those are the guys like in the weeds. They're like looking at the logs and identifying like abnormalities.
Splunk is for scripting.
It's a SIM tool, so it's for like it's log, like it collects all your logs or your events. It's a security I've even forgotten. Event management, SIEM. Tool. So it collects all the
Sorry, incident management?
No, it's not
information and event management.
Yeah.
Okay.
Information and event management. Okay. So it's Datadog 2 is the same.
Yeah, Datadog
is the same. So your information flows into those logs, but you need scripting to understand, like, it's a lot of data. So like almost like you need like that SQL skill, able to manipulate data to get the information you want. Events, there are a lot of events. So you need to, it's not just find me, you need to find me that look like that can add just all those commands. You need to know how to do it. But
do you have another question? So you said the good thing what?
The good thing is like now these tools come with like AI assistants. Yeah, so like almost everything now. Like I tried to open. I saw like we use a tool called ClickUp for like creating tickets. There's AI to help you if you cannot write English now. Wow, these guys really want to take our job.
Do you have another question for this
one
black
more question, please? I know we're way past our time, but just one good question. Cybersecurity requires a lot of frameworks. I know we talked about NIST, CSF. In what instance would you say would be helpful to learn those frameworks? I know you talked about learning NIST, CSF for like interviews, but what are some of like the other frameworks? When would it be helpful?
Oh yeah, there's
to know those frameworks.
That ISO has its own.
ISO like 27,000 series.
Yeah, so they have for privacy, security, everything. ISO has its own. And then if you host credit card information, there's something called PCI DSS.
PCI DSS, yeah.
Yeah. If you host credit card information, I'm trying to think of the OCC, which is
yeah, that's the one for banking sector or the tech sector you mentioned. Banking or tech?
For banking.
Okay.
Banking. Tech doesn't really have like regulations like that. They just like.
Yeah, you said NIST. I mixed it up.
Yeah.
You also said FRB.
Yeah, that's the Federal Reserve Bank.
Okay.
So they have their own like frameworks for security. Then for privacy, there's GDPR.
Mm-hmm. That's like a regulation.
Yeah, that's like a regulation in itself. Then for privacy, there are different privacy regulations. There's one for California. I just can't remember the top of my head right now. I think CCPA. Yeah, I think it's CCPA. Yes. But for security, if you know NIST, if you know ISO, understand PCI DSS, you should be good to go. Yeah.
What would
CIDSS.
having this information do? Is it like, does it help you to be a better cybersecurity professional? Like, I'm trying to understand how the frameworks and tools, like the intersection of the frameworks and tools for doing your job within cybersecurity, like how useful that is. Like, if I don't know any frameworks, can I be a cybersecurity professional,
Oh
or do I
yeah.
need to know certain frameworks?
I'll say know NIST and you know all.
Okay,
Because
know all the frameworks.
yeah, so the rest are like almost like certifications. So ISO has a
Mm-hmm.
certification, so it tells you what to do to get that certification.
Gotcha.
ISO. But PCI too, you get the certification, like you get the AOC, which is attestation of compliance after you meet this. But NIST is basically just saying this is not, there's no certification after this. These are all the controls we think you should have. Deploy this and to your environment and make it as secure as possible. So it's very technical and very descriptive compared to the other ones. Because the other ones are almost like tests. Like you should have this, you should do this, this complies with this. But this is just take all this information, do with it as you please.
Anyways, thank you for this very
Thank you.
extended discussion and lecture. You see, I'm sure you are seeing your Manchester United team. People are struggling.
I thought that's what this podcast was about. I've cried.
You can see your Manchester United team.
Hey, they are
Hopefully,
working me.
hopefully, hopefully, you guys survive this season.
Hopefully.
Anyways, we're in it together. I'm a Manchester United fan too, but I've said it. If you guys sign Potter, I cease to be a United fan. But that's the discussion for another day. Anyways, thank you, Yewande, for coming
Thank you.
through. Thank you, Mr. Black, Ayoblaq, Mr. I don't want to say your city, but he owns that city.
Yeah.
Thank you for pulling up. This was very good. I learned a lot, and I also learned that I can enter cybersecurity if I decide to pack up my career as a cloud person. And ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the podcast. Thank you for joining. Share. This is one of those fields that is upcoming, and I would say it's going to be lucrative in the coming years. You want people that are trying to get into tech to get into this. It doesn't involve too much programming, but as Ayodele has said, you still need to have that core tech knowledge. Share with your friends, share with people that you think might need this, and I would see you another time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.